It's a kind of preface to the resumption of the strands of thought we had begun to develop yesterday. It's slightly unconnected, but it's very relevant to our context, so I'm going to say this. In the Greek culture, which is actually the seed of the Western culture, and we are following the Western model of education, that's why it's relevant to state it. The two most important attributes of a free citizen, which was a privilege in those days. Not everyone was a free citizen. Not even, say, 30% of people in Athens, for example, were free citizens. The two essential and essentially important ingredients or characteristics of a free citizen were, one, the capacity to speak, two, the ability to act, and act significantly. Speak effectively and act significantly. That's the quintessence of the Greek idea of being a free citizen. And if you ask the alumni of the college, many of them will tell you that it was in St. Stephen's College that they actually cultivated the art of speaking, not just public speaking, the art of communicating, the art of expressing oneself with dignity and clarity with respect to one's fellow human beings. Without that capacity, without that skill, you are not a properly educated person. And this explains the importance that St. Stephen's College traditionally attached to the activities of the debating society. Our Mukherjee Memorial Debate was easily the foremost debating event in the country till recently. Winning the Mukherjee Memorial was considered the conquering of the Everest of communication skills. But a change has happened in recent times, and that is the debating society has lost its way, and I say this with a lot of responsibility, gradually, and forfeited the essential understanding on which the society was founded and stood for a long time. Therefore, it became a stage only for the smartest, the most successful. It became a place for showcasing talent, whereas the purpose of the debating society in St. Stephen's College is to popularize debating skills. Everyone must participate. Everyone must develop the ability to communicate, because that's the hallmark of being a Stephanian. And it's because the debating society lost its moorings that I started this in the assembly. You must understand that there is a logic to what we do. You don't have to be an accomplished debater to come stand here and address the assembly, which till 2007 was not open even to the faculty members of the college. You may not know the extent of the privilege that's accessible to you today because you were not part of the long tradition of the college. You've come just this year. That's why it's important for me to mention this. So please make use of such opportunities eagerly, passionately. Which brings me to the topic that we had begun. Can you register this? Absolute passion to supreme good. What's happening today instead is the attachment of absolute passion to the trivial. and correspondingly, the trivialization of the absolute. If today you have to choose between your cell phone and your parents, I wonder what you will choose. If you have to choose between your cell phone and God, what will you choose? If you have to choose between one moment of mindless entertainment and the deep injury you cause to another person, what will you choose? In the last several years, I have been extremely shocked by the crass indifference of people to human suffering. Right in our own midst. We just don't bother. A person may be done to death right under our nose. But if somebody scratches the back of our cell phone, we'll bring the roof down. So you must understand that there is a problem. The problem is the mismatch between passion and object. Now, your personality, please understand this very deeply and clearly. Your personality is substantially influenced by the objects to which you attach your absolute passion. Yesterday I said, being human, we cannot but be passionate, but the choice is between being passionate about the right things or profound things and being passionate about trivial things. That is the only choice. Today I am taking the thought a little further and saying to you, which I hope you remember, that the development of your personality depends on what you attach your absolute passion to. For example, you may come to the St. Stephen's College in order to have a good time, whatever your idea of a good time is. Only you know, I don't. I have my own idea of good times. Your idea of good time being just sort of loafing around, boycotting classes, sitting and eating in the cafe or loitering around, whatever. That may be the summum bonum, that may be the shaping purpose of your coming to St. Stephen's. That will determine the development of your personality. You may allow yourself to be entrapped in petty quarrels and take trivial issues with utmost seriousness and harbor ill will and malice, grievances and grudges for 30 years, 40 years. Something is working like a canker in a bud, eating it up from within, and the bud of your life will just wither away without your knowing it. I plead with you to understand the crucial and shaping importance of attaching your passion to something worthwhile. For example, I would commend it to you that you attach your absolute passion to the fullest possible development of all your potentialities, all your talents, so that you reach the highest level of your personal development. And being thus developed, you become, as it were, a source of encouragement, a source of inspiration to others. You become a catalytic agent to awaken something that is dormant in others. You begin to shine like a beacon of light. You're able to walk in dignity. You're able to hold your head high rather than look miserable or stand like a misshapen question mark. What do you want? So the very first principle I want to underline, emphasize with all the force I can muster, is that you must be careful how you invest your capacity for absolute passion. Is that clear? Attach your passion to things trivial, what happens? You become trivial. You become petty. You become small and become smaller and smaller and smaller. This is happening to millions of people, and I see it. This is the reason why I am discussing it with you. If only you will look around and understand what is happening to people, how people turn their lives into a continuous, undying misery simply because they cannot distinguish or discriminate between what is important and what is unimportant. Trivial things. 99.99% of interpersonal conflicts stem from absolutely stupid, irrelevant, trivial issues. Look back and examine the truth of what I have said to you just now. Almost 100% of the grievances that people are so happy to flaunt in public life are trivial. Trivial. I remember, for example, the students of JNU striking about 10 years ago because they were denied chicken legs. Chicken legs were served, and that was for some time discontinued, I don't know why, but went on strike. How can you walk except on chicken legs? Life walks on chicken legs. That's it. You know, this is something extremely impolite. I've said this to you before. It is very uncouth to distract a serious process. This is the last time it's happening. Now, I say this to you, I'll confiscate the instrument, you will never get it back. Because this is discourtesy of the most unacceptable variety. You're distracting the work of 250, 300 people. All right, so this is the first principle, right? Now, what is the problem? Let's look a little deeper into this. What is the problem when you attach excessive passion or even passion to trivial things? Now, attaching passion to trivial things is a contradiction in terms. What is a trivial thing? A trivial thing, by definition, is a small thing. And what is a small thing? A small thing is something that makes only, or should make, only a small demand on you. You follow my logic? Now, let me ask you a question. Is a human being more important, or a sentence that that person has uttered? You know, somebody says something, a friend of yours says something that you don't find very pleasant. Suddenly, your relationship is upset. You say, I don't want to see you ever again. Now, is that human being important, or this one sentence that is important? The importance that you should attach to the person is suddenly shifted from the person to one casual statement, and for the next 20 years it is interpersonal misery. That is the stupidity of the whole thing. So be very careful where you invest your passion. Now, why is it that it is a practical human need to attach our passion to something profound? That is something I want you to understand very clearly. Now, let me put it in this manner, and I hope you are with me. Most of the time, human life is confined to mere routine. If you break routine down to its constituents, you will find that all components of the routine, while they are necessary, are just ordinary. Ordinary things are also important, also necessary. But the problem is that relating to or dealing with or managing these components of our routine life takes only a small part of our possibilities. You get up in the morning, you get ready, you eat your breakfast, you board your bus, or you come get into your car, you drive, you come here. All this is all necessary, but it doesn't really make any demand on you. And much of it you do without any thinking at all. You don't have to think. These are habitual actions. And therefore, what happens is, if you simply confine yourself to a series of habitual actions, you will use only a very small part of your energy, your intelligence, your possibility. And it is a rule that only that which is used develops. For example, everyone has the capacity to speak, but if you don't use it, you will lose it. At least you will not develop it. In order to develop, you must exercise, you must use. So if your life is only confined to daily routine activities which do not require any absolute passion on your part, you will live all your life using only maybe 1% of your possibilities. You waste your life. You never discover who you are. You never realize your level, true level. It's only when you attach your passion to something profound that you lift yourself from this low level, practical level, important. I'm sure it's very important, but it's inadequate. And slowly rise to a level where you begin to be proud of yourself in a legitimate manner, where you begin to experience happiness. The confinement of one's life to the mere interminable flow of daily routine never generates happiness. Happiness is the byproduct of this kind of profound engagement. Now, the time is up. We'll continue our reflections tomorrow as well. Let's rise for prayer.